there's a strange truth nobody talks about. A man can own the penthouse, drive the luxury car, wear the expensive watch, travel first class, smile in photographs, and still feel completely empty inside. Because money can buy comfort, but it cannot buy peace. Some of the richest men in the world wake up every morning with anxiety in their chest, fear in their minds, loneliness in their hearts. And the scary part? Most people think becoming rich will solve everything. But many rich men discover something terrifying after they finally make it. The destination they sacrificed their youth for does not feel the way they imagined. The applause fades. The excitement fades. Even pleasure fades. And now they're trapped inside a prison built with their own success. This is why so many wealthy men secretly struggle with depression, burnout, isolation, addiction, broken families, emotional numbness, and constant paranoia, because wealth solves external problems, but internal suffering follows you everywhere. The Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. Marcus Aurelius once ruled the most powerful empire on earth, yet constantly reminded himself that power and riches mean nothing without inner control. And today, that lesson is more important than ever, because modern society worships wealth without understanding its hidden cost. Tonight, we're going deep into the uncomfortable truth about money, status, success, and why many rich men are secretly miserable. Not to shame wealth, not to glorify poverty, but to understand the psychological trap that destroys so many successful men from the inside. Part 1. The dream they sold you. From childhood, men are programmed with one message: become successful, and you'll finally be happy. Work harder, earn more, become important, win. That's the formula society gives men. Nobody teaches young men emotional mastery. Nobody teaches peace. Nobody teaches fulfillment. Instead, men are trained like machines: produce, compete, conquer. And because of this, millions of men spend their entire lives chasing wealth, believing it is the final solution to pain. But here's what happens. At first, money genuinely improves life. A poor man becomes financially stable. Stress decreases. Options increase. But after a certain point, something strange begins happening. The emotional satisfaction weakens. The excitement of buying new things fades faster. Achievements feel emptier. Victories feel temporary. And now the man needs more just to feel alive again. More money, more status, more luxury, more validation. The chase becomes addictive, not because he enjoys it, but because he no longer knows who he is without it. Part 2. Success creates a new kind of fear. Poor men fear survival. Rich men fear losing everything. And sometimes, the second fear is even worse. Because once a man becomes wealthy, his entire identity becomes attached to success. Now he must protect the image, protect the empire, protect the reputation. He can no longer fail publicly. He can no longer look weak. So even when he's exhausted, he keeps performing. Even when he's emotionally dead inside, he keeps smiling. Even when anxiety is destroying him, he keeps pretending he's winning. This is why many rich men cannot relax. Their minds become prisons of pressure. What if I lose it all? What if people stop respecting me? What if someone richer replaces me? What if my success was luck? The richer they become, the more paranoia grows, because wealth attracts competition, attention, jealousy, fake friendships, lawsuits, pressure. The man who once dreamed of freedom now feels trapped by responsibility. Part 3. Money exposes who you really are. Most people think money changes people. Not completely. Money often reveals people. If a man is insecure before wealth, he may become even more insecure after wealth. If he lacks self-control before money, wealth amplifies his impulses. If he seeks validation before success, he becomes addicted to attention afterward. Money magnifies character. That's why some wealthy men become calm, generous, disciplined leaders, while others become arrogant, reckless, lonely, and emotionally unstable. Because external success cannot repair internal emptiness. A man can own 10 businesses and still hate himself privately. He can have millions in the bank and still feel worthless without applause. That is emotional slavery. And modern culture hides this reality because society worships appearances. People see the mansion. They don't see the insomnia. People see the supercar. They don't see the panic attacks. People see the luxury lifestyle. They don't see the silent loneliness. Part 4. The loneliness of power. The higher a man climbs, the fewer honest people remain around him. This is one of the darkest parts of wealth nobody prepares men for. When you become successful, people start treating you differently. Some admire you, some envy you, some fear you, some use you, but very few truly understand you. Rich men often struggle to know who genuinely cares about them. Does she love him? Or his lifestyle? Is that friendship real? Or transactional? Do people respect him? Or simply need access to his money? This uncertainty creates emotional isolation, and isolation slowly destroys the mind. Because humans are not designed to live without authentic connection. A wealthy man may sit at a table surrounded by people and still feel completely alone. That's why many successful men secretly crave simple moments more than luxury. Real conversations, peaceful silence, trust, loyalty, authenticity. Things money cannot guarantee. Part 5. The hedonic trap. The human brain adapts quickly. This is why pleasure fades. The first luxury watch feels incredible. By the fifth watch, the excitement weakens. The first million feels life-changing. Then eventually even millions feel normal. The brain constantly adjusts its expectations upward. This creates an endless cycle. Achievement, excitement, adaptation, emptiness, new pursuit. And many rich men spend decades trapped in this loop. They keep chasing bigger highs because their previous victories no longer satisfy them emotionally. More cars, more women, more status, more risk, more stimulation. But the emptiness keeps returning. Because pleasure and fulfillment are not the same thing. Pleasure is temporary stimulation. Fulfillment comes from meaning, and meaning cannot be purchased. Part 6. They sacrifice too much. Some rich men secretly regret the price they paid for success. The lost years, the broken relationships, the neglected health, the emotional disconnection. Many sacrificed their youth-building empires, only to realize they no longer know how to enjoy life. They became excellent at making money, but terrible at being present. Some cannot connect emotionally with their children. Some destroyed marriages chasing ambition. Some lost friendships because everything became business. And eventually they face a terrifying realization. I built a successful life, but not a meaningful one. This is why older wealthy men often become reflective, because time reveals what money hides. A man can recover lost money, but he cannot recover lost years. Part 7. Status is a dangerous addiction. Status is one of the most addictive drugs on earth. Once a man experiences admiration, he fears becoming ordinary again, so he keeps upgrading his image. Bigger house, more expensive vacations, designer everything, constant displays of success. Not always because he enjoys them, but because he fears losing relevance. This creates a psychological trap. The man becomes a performer instead of a human being. Everything turns into image management. And eventually he forgets who he truly is beneath the status symbols. The Stoics warned about this deeply. Seneca believed that attachment to luxury weakens the soul because it makes peace, dependent on external conditions. A man addicted to status can never fully rest, because his happiness depends on maintaining an illusion. Part 8. Why calm men suffer less. Some wealthy men are peaceful. Why? Because they mastered themselves before mastering money. They understand that wealth is a tool, not an identity. They enjoy success without worshipping it. They can lose money without losing themselves. That is real power. True wealth is emotional independence. A calm man with discipline, purpose, and inner control experiences life differently from a man addicted to validation. One uses money wisely. The other uses money emotionally. One remains grounded. The other becomes consumed by ego. This is why Stoicism remains powerful today. Because Stoicism teaches men to separate external success from internal stability. Control your mind. Control your emotions. Control your reactions. and suddenly wealth becomes safer. Part 9. The truth about happiness. Happiness is not found in endless accumulation. If that were true, every billionaire would be deeply fulfilled. But many are not, because happiness is deeply connected to purpose, meaning, connection, health, peace of mind, self-respect. Things money can support, but never replace. A wealthy man without peace suffers differently from a poor man without money, but suffering still exists. That's the truth society avoids discussing, because modern culture profits from keeping people endlessly dissatisfied, always wanting more, always comparing, always consuming. But fulfillment often comes from simplicity, a clear mind, strong relationships, discipline, purposeful work, freedom from constant comparison. Part 10. The final lesson. Money is powerful. It can create opportunities, freedom, security, comfort. But if a man believes money alone will heal insecurity, loneliness, fear, or emptiness, he will eventually suffer, because inner problems travel with you. The poor man thinks wealth will eliminate all pain. The wise man understands that every level of life contains different battles. So pursue success, build wealth, become disciplined, create freedom, but never sacrifice your soul chasing external validation. Never build an empire while destroying your inner peace. And never forget this: a man who controls his mind is richer than a man controlled by his desires. At the end of life, most men will not regret buying fewer luxury items. They will regret living disconnected from themselves. They will regret never slowing down, never being present, never finding peace. So build wealth, but build yourself even more, because the richest man in the room is not always the happiest. Sometimes the truly wealthy man is simply the one who can sleep peacefully at night. And in a world addicted to status, noise, and endless chasing, that kind of peace is priceless.